Can you believe that? We have been gone for almost 2 months and we're back. It's Wicked Women. It's Sunday the 14th of December. I'm coming to you live from London, UK. And we are a little tiny bit late because we had a few problems with Val's sound, but we've got it sorted now. I have only just got my voice back and I have to bring my voice right down. Otherwise, I cough a lot. So you probably may not hear me chat too much tonight, but we're doing our best to be back. So Michael and Val will be doing their best. How's everybody doing? I can't believe it's been 2 months since we've been here. And so much has happened in that 2 months as well. I have the most fantastic co-host, and she's in Virginia, and her and I have difficult health issues, and sometimes we can do it and sometimes we can't. And when we can, we're here and we bring you a great show, and we've got a great show tonight. She's coming in from Virginia, USA. I'm coming in from London. We're just across the pond from each other. Let's bring in the lovely Val. I always love to say that. Hello, darling.
Hello. I don't have your smooth. Mine's just kind of,
It's just practice. And I've got to bring my voice down because trying so hard not to cough. It's so nice to be back.
It is. It is. But, like you said, we do have health issues, and I'm sure everybody understands when we're unable to be on.
I can't believe it's been 2 months since we've been here. The last one, the Remarkable Man show with Wayne, and for those of people that really enjoyed that, and it was quite a fiery show, but for those that enjoyed Dwayne, he has said he will come back in January and do a show about a different topic, but with his sort of input. Really excited about that. We also have another show which we've had to put because we've both been ill, Val. All our shows have got backlogged. So this one was going to be for Halloween, and we would have looked a bit different. Next week we have, fingers crossed, our Christmas special. And then we're into January. So it's amazing. I've actually, I can't even move. I've got a basset hound here stuck right by my leg. So I'm sort of trapped.
Well, it's incredibly cold in my house, and excuse the mess behind me, all those boxes. But I've got my trusty favorite robe wrapped around my legs.
I just realized, when we started, we were, it's that podcast of Wicked Women. Is it, are they going to be here? Are they going to, and we're still going. In fact, we're the only one left. We're the only one left. So it's like, yay, us. I want to look at this topic because you and I had talked about this before, which was, I'm a bit of a goth. I can't deny it. I've always been drawn to the darker side of things. 1 foot in, 1 foot out. And I was saying to you about we need to look at some of the characters, some of the ladies of Hollywood that have been, quite dark. And going back to when Hollywood began, there seems to and the dark. I mean, if you look at all the horror films, Supernatural and etc., people are drawn to the darker side. And I think with the women, as I said in that intro, that dark character, that dramatic looks, the rebellious nature, confident, and that's true because if you think a lot of the characters, that's absolutely true. Ness, when I have to get my glasses on to actually bring in, because what we were looking at is actually when the first the first sex symbol who was a goth, and I'm just bringing this up here. I'm going to bring Michael in a while because he will take over from my voice.
I was researching some, and I came across. Have you ever heard of the show Vampira?
Yeah, I have.
See, I had never heard of it. Never heard of it. Mela Nurmi is the woman that played Vampira, and this was in the 50s. And she actually is the one that started the whole change in women on screen. Women were always portrayed as, smiling and being, the way we perceived women to be, or they wanted them to be. And Mela comes on screen and she doesn't smile. She's kind of statuesque. She's not the, lovey fuzzy character that most women play in those days. And a lot of, like, Lily Munster was, she inspired Lily Munster, Morticia, all those, and it kind of made it into intriguing to be different like that, not necessarily the way Hollywood wanted to portray women.
I think you've got a point there, because there was the femme fatale type. If you look at Sharon Stone, absolutely all the signs of a seductress.
Right.
But actually, I want to go back further to the silent film, and we go to Theda Bara, who was the very first sex symbol, and she used to have an evil stare, vampy makeup, and scandalous outfits. So we're going back. Let me see, what year was that? She was 18. Was it 1918, something like that? And she was the daughter of a poor Jewish tailor, and she had a lot of dreams and moved to New York. She became an actress, and she did have this voluptuous figure, and they wanted at that time in Hollywood thinner women, slimmer women with more boyish sort of figures, and she had the dark hair and natural curves. So she was like trying to slim down, but she kept her curves. And one thing I like about this lady is that she had no voice. She had no voice at all on screen. All she had was her looks and how she presented herself.
Mm-hmm.
In 1915, someone took a chance on her. She lied and said she was 25. And the first thing they did was a fool there was. And she accepted the part. And the story of a devoted family man, while on a ship to England, meets a beautiful stranger referred to as the vampire woman, who corrupts his soul, destroys his family, drains him of his money and dignity,
Whoops.
and eventually causes his demise. So she's already got what they're already doing, that Hollywood's already putting women in to be this femme fatale. They're going to come along, we're going to suck you dry, we're going to take all your money from you. Whereas dark, mysterious women, and that was back in, was that 1915? Yeah, 1915. So, I mean, I can't even imagine how amazing that was.
Well, before the women started doing that, I always, I kind of thought about it today, and thought, you know how villains and bad guys were always kind of portrayed in black, and the good guys were in white.
Yeah.
And not the reason I wore white. Just saying. But you know, it seems like even though the women didn't, they weren't villains, but they kind of come across as scary or, you know, bad, like the bad girl, because they did tend to wear, you know, the goth, the black, and all that, and you know, women were seen as the, you know, the white dresses and the lighter pastel-y things until these women, you know, came forward in their long black dresses and their black hair and, you know, not bowing down.
It's interesting that the color black is always seen as the darkness.
Yeah.
Theda had a saying the reason good women like me and come to see my pictures is because there's a little bit of a vampire instinct in every woman. And back then in 1915, women seen, not really heard, still only just got the vote, really. I mean, you know, still fighting to be seen as equal.
Sure.
Getting up on
well, they weren't equal at all.
Yeah. In England, obviously, there was, you know, trying to bring the vote in for women around sort of that time onward. But when you look back at Theda, her films she's half naked in most of the films. You know, it's very much hint of something. And I was looking at some of the other women that came along at that time, as well as Theda, and obviously she was one of the first 1910s. And then you have, as you say, Vampira in 50s, and then Barbara Steele, known as the Scream Queen, in the 60s. For me, it's like, what makes a woman Gothic? And yes, she can wear black, she can do the dark makeup, the dark lipstick, she can be very vampirish, but to me it's a lifestyle. I know it sounds terrible to say, but it's a lifestyle. It's not just, oh, I like to look like this. It's like you're drawn to that sort of side. I mean, I always loved Joan Collins. When I was growing up, Joan Collins was my heroine.
Yeah.
With the makeup, her Alexis on Dynasty, she was a kick-ass woman. And
she said what she wanted to say, and you know, didn't care who heard her. So not many women, I think, in the movies at that time were able to do that.
I'm going to bring in a very famous picture, which I'm going to go and get a drink first and have a look. But I think everybody will know who this lovely lady is. This is Yvonne de Carlos, and she played Lily Munster. Now, I grew up watching the Munsters, but what most people don't realise is that it only ran for one series. It was such a hit, but it only ran for one series. And they brought in the niece, the blonde, I think it was Marilyn, the niece.
Marilyn.
Not normal, because she wasn't vampish. And while I go and get this, if you could give us a bit of the background of Yvonne and how she got Lily Munster.
I will try.
She, I mean, look at how striking. She was a very well-known actress. So to take on this part was a big gamble for her, a big risk. She was known to have very good, she was a, you know, method actress. She was very, very good. And they offered it to her and she was like, you know what, I'm going to give it a go. And that wig that she wore gave her constant headaches. along with the makeup that she had to endure for so long, because, you know, they made her very
But,
white.
you know, for the longest time, I never knew she was green.
Really? I know, because it was in black and white,
It
wasn't
was
it?
in black and white, and, you know, but she was a Canadian-American actress, singer, and dancer. And then she became, like, the Gothic sex symbol, in the 40s and 50s. She was, from Vancouver. She grew up in Vancouver, British Columbia, and started with small roles. But, you know, I think her most famous role, of course, is Lily Munster. Um, I think, you know, it seems weird that one of her most famous roles is Lily Munster, who didn't, you know, she kind of acted very solemn. You know, she didn't really put her dancer singer, you know, to the forefront. It was more, it kind of all fell on her acting, because as far as I know, I don't remember Lily Munster ever, you know, kicking off on a
Well, she was like the
musical.
mum, wasn't she?
Yeah.
She was. What a great mum to have. She's iconic.
Yeah.
Lily Munster was 64 to 66, and she was very proud of her character, very, very proud of it. But I'll tell you a couple of things. You probably got these as well. She was encouraged to be a dancer, and she's a stunning woman.
She really is. She's really gorgeous.
And I think, as you said, people couldn't really appreciate her in the Munsters because it was in black and white.
Yeah. But I think she gave a lot to that, to Lily Munster.
She did.
I think she made her that iconic symbol, just the way she portrayed her. I don't think everybody can do that. Just, you know, just like Morticia, I think there's certain attributes that the originals had that the others, they're good, but they can't quite follow that.
She was in the 10 Commandments with Charlton Heston. And her honestly, I mean, it's one of my favorite films, the 10 Commandments. It's a great movie, but she was amazing in it. And one thing, she had this wonderfully soft voice, and she was a great mom, and she loved her husband, and she was very much the 1950s wife. You come home from work, your tea's ready. You know, she, you know, it was like Herman Munster was, you know, it was all about him. And I think she was a bit like that in real life, because I remember seeing an interview with her where she said, I don't think there's anything wrong with taking care of your man and him coming home, and you're, you know, you've prepared dinner for him and you're looking nice.
Right.
He had a difficult marriage. She married a stuntman, and they were married until 1973. Things were very tough financially, and then he lost a leg during the production of How the West Was Won in 62. He got run over by a train, and due to the contract, MGM had no responsibility for it, and all those medical bills came in, and she was trying so hard, you know, to try and pay them all. So really, she says that accident saved their marriage, because their marriage was splitting up, and then it brought them together. So when the Munsters came along and it was offered to her, it was a steady paycheck.
Sure.
And
go ahead.
Sorry, I'm just saying, she was a steady paycheck, and she thought, well, I can pay for my husband's medical bills.
Sure.
You know, she was she carried on working as much as she could, and she didn't like the way she had real qualms about portraying a vampire and the makeup. And she said, I've worked hard to become this actress, and now you're going to like ask me to have a green face and hollow cheeks. And it was at that time, it was a massive leap of faith for an actress of her quality to actually become Lily Munster's iconic face. And I'm just looking at a colour picture of her, and you're right, she's got this green face, and she's pale, isn't she?
Well, if you really think about it, think about how wrong it could have gone. She could have been portrayed as this silly, made up, she's dropped so low that this is what she has to play, that kind of thing. But it wasn't a bust. It was a iconic show, and it turned her into an icon instead of
she was a
the lowly actress.
She was a serious actress, and I think she worried about taking on this part and what it would mean. And she didn't actually get along with all her co-stars because she was like, I'm a movie star, and I'm should be treated as much. And they were like, no, that's not going to work on here. But she did have a lot of issues. I feel sorry for Yvonne. A lot of people don't know much about her, but she did a lot of step-on appearances like Gilligan's Island, Dream of Jeannie, but she could not. It was always Lily Munster. And she went back to do a second series, and it flopped. They did a one-off of a second series, and it flopped. And actually, that was it. They never did it again. And she literally went back to the stage. And she did amazing shows like Gypsy, Applause, Can, Follies. She did really, really well, only to sadly suffer a stroke in 98 and to die of heart failure on January the 8th, 2007. And she was 84, which is an amazing age, to be honest. But to me, I don't know about you, Val, but I remember watching the Munsters and just wanting to be in that family. Who didn't want a mum like Lily Munster, who didn't want to have, like, because they had the Dracula grandfather, the Frankenstein dad, the little boy was a werewolf, she was a vampire witch, and poor Marilyn was normal. And it was like, oh, Marilyn, we got to find someone for you because you're so ugly.
But Marilyn, even though she was the typical what you saw on TV at the time, somehow she just kind of intertwined and just fit. Even with this crazy family, when she came in, she just fit.
She didn't fit in the first series, the first couple of episodes, though, because she had that I'm an actress, and I'm just doing this for a paycheck. And all the other stars that were there, Fred, what was his name? Fred, I can't remember his surname now, but perhaps someone can tell me it. But he was like, hang on a minute, like, we're all here under the same boat. So for me, the Munsters and the music, iconic. I mean, you only have to. I can hear it now as I'm talking to you and seeing the car come along, and how she's.
I loved the car. I love
how she's sending them out to lunch with their lunch boxes and everything, and you can hear that do 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 do. You can hear it. It was so iconic. Actually, the other show that we're going to bring in was, I would say, more iconic and has gone on to be, let's just say, probably the most iconic thing. And we're going to start off, first of all, I'm sure a lot of people are going to recognize this beautiful lady, but she was the first one, Caroline Jones.
Yeah.
She was the first Morticia of the Addams family. What do you remember about watching the Addams family, Val?
Honestly, I loved Morticia because she was just so, like, flawless. She just looked just perfect. Her hair, her face, everything was just perfect.
Yeah.
No matter what, no matter what was going on around her, she was just, spit shined. And I remember watching her, thinking, her dress fit perfect, her hair was perfect, that long hair, and I think I remember her face more than anything, just that she was just perfect.
She was beautiful.
Yeah.
And also, I remember seeing Caroline Jones in the Elvis movie, and I don't know if it was King Creole or something like that, but she was in the black and white one, and she was killed in that movie. And I thought to myself, wow, look at this amazing woman. She was absolutely stunning. And obviously we're seeing her here with the long wig and everything, but she had that hourglass figure. She would walk with little shuffles. And
her dress was so tight. It was like,
it was so tight.
Yeah.
But the one thing, which I'll bring in the other lady in a minute, but the one thing I didn't get between that Morticia and Gomez was that sexual chemistry. Like this couple couldn't get enough of each other. And I think the Angelica Houston one, which we'll look at in a minute, very, very different to Caroline Jones. I mean, we're talking 1960s here.
But I mean, even though she kind of pushed the boundaries a little, it wasn't. I think it would have maybe been over the top at that time to act like Angelica Houston later. You know what I mean? I think they were really strict on those older shows. But to look at her, she doesn't look creepy or, aside from her hair and her clothes, she doesn't look gothic. She looks like a pixie.
She was born in Texas. She had severe asthma as a child, and I can sympathize completely with her. That she made her debut in the 1952's The Turning Point, but the breakthrough movie was with Vincent Price, House of Wax, which is an iconic movie, 1953. And then she also had a bit part in War of the Worlds, obviously, earlier version of it. She had a lot of lung troubles, and as I said, as I suffer with asthma, I can really relate to this, because when you can't breathe and you're an actress, even now I'm having to keep my voice down, but you, as an actress, and you've got to get your part across and you've got to get your voice across, when you can't get always your breath. She had pneumonia quite a few times in her life, and it stopped her actually getting, she was actually cast as Lorraine in From Here to Eternity, but because she started having asthma problems and pneumonia, they gave the part to Donna Reed, who went on to win the Actress Oscar Award. So that must have been a kick in the tooth.
Oh, it was, because, I mean, as great as she was as Morticia, I think it's hard for a lot of actors and actresses to get stuck in that one role. And no matter what you do after, that's what you're typecast as. Morticia. You know what I mean?
She was eventually typecasted, but before then, she was quite a well-known actress.
Yeah, but I mean, unless you go back and read about her, that's the first thing people are going to think when they see her.
I remember her from, as I said, I was a big Elvis fan growing up. I loved his movies, King Creole, Black and White. She was the doomed femme fatale gangster girlfriend of Walter Matthau, and she fell in love with Elvis, Danny, as he was in that. She was absolutely fantastic in that movie. Great looking woman, and there was a real chemistry between her and Elvis. Although Elvis's performance overshadowed anyone's, let's be honest.
Sure,
if you're in a movie with Elvis, it's always going to be there. Apparently, I don't know if you've got this in your research, but she was married 4 times. And she married actually Aaron Spelling. Can you believe that? She married Aaron
Boy, did
Spelling.
he marry up.
She was her second husband, and they married in 1953, and she converted to Judaism for the union. And they divorced in 1964, but remained friends. And she made appearances on his shows later on, like The Love Boat and Fantasy Island. But let's look at her most iconic role, which is Morticia Addams. She said that she could really relate to Morticia. Morticia had a dark sense of humor, and there were lots of things undercurrent. And she said that she felt like she was playing sometimes herself. She really enjoyed playing Morticia.
Well,
I mean, who wouldn't?
Well, yeah, but I think it would have been extremely fun role.
Absolutely.
You know, because if you look at her, you know, with her short curly blonde hair, and you know, it's like, even when you look at her the way she actually is or was, she doesn't look anything like Morticia. Dress or hair, nothing. But you can still see that face. And her face is just, it's truly just, it looks like a porcelain statue.
She was the beautiful. When the Addams Family finished, she only had occasional TV spots then. And it was almost like that was the biggest role, although the King Creole and other movies were, but Morticia was the biggest one. She, in 1981, she was diagnosed with colon cancer. And after they thought they got it all, it returned with a vengeance. And she sometimes performed from a wheelchair in her shows. It was aggressive and terminal, and she came to the disease in 1983, and she was in her 50s. I think she was in her mid 50s when she went. Terrible end to such a lady that could have gone on to make amazingly deep performances in her latter years. Didn't get the opportunity, but she will forever live. For me, I mean, obviously King Creole, but she will forever live as Morticia.
Sure. Yeah, and I mean, how many seasons did they have?
I could be wrong, but I think it was about 4 or 5.
I mean, you know, now we have shows on TV that are like 20 seasons. You know, back then, you know, a season wouldn't have paid much, I would imagine.
Yeah.
But can you imagine how much royalties they've made since then? Especially other people doing movies on that show.
My mistake. It was 2. I'm going to bring in the other lady who, for me, was my Morticia. Angelica Houston had this role down to a fine art. She was sexy. She was classy. She was beautiful. And she, when the Addams Family did 2 movies, and when they said, "Will you come back and do it?" and she said, "No, not without my Gomez." And sadly, I think it's Raoul who played Gomez. He had died of cancer. When you watched her play Morticia, you believe that her and Gomez were having great sex. They were at each other all the time.
Right.
And, you know, the way he would start and he would kiss Mon Chéri. And, you know, and what was that iconic scene from the movie where she goes, "Last night you were like some dark, twisted, tormented animal. You frightened me. Do it again."
Yes.
Oh, it's classic. To me, she was, and although I love Caroline Jones, to me, Angelica Houston's performance, she was born to play this role.
Yeah. Well, she had the right face, the features, the, you know, everything to play dark and kind of spooky. Even, you know, when she played Witches of Eastwick, you know, it was just perfect. It's like she was, like you said, born to play that spooky,
She was
kind of, you know, those roles. And yeah, I think she made it a wonderful Morticia. And that's one of those things that pop in your head.
She is, for me, the Morticia. She wrote somewhere that Morticia has a shape that only a cartoonist can draw. And they actually pushed her into a metal corset that gave her that hips and waist. And she said it was a struggle for her to cope with it because she couldn't sit down. And she had to stand most of the time, and she would get a headache. And she couldn't breathe sometimes. It was exhausting because she was pulled in to that. And I never knew that. I mean, obviously, you know, looking at her, you just think she's got this great skinny figure, but she was in a lot of discomfort making that role.
Yeah, I never knew that either, because, you know, you think of, okay, we're going to, you know, play Morticia. You don't think, okay, you have to be this size, you have to look like this. But when you look back at the show, she was like that.
Yeah. I mean, her makeup is absolutely, I mean, just in this picture alone, her makeup is stunning. And you can just tell by her energy, this is a woman that doesn't take shit. This is a woman that kicks ass. This is a woman that gets in the bedroom with her husband, and it's wonderful and fantastic. And, you know, they can't wait to get back and get hold of each other. This is a woman who is quietly behind her husband, but she's the power behind the throne. And that was the sort of role. And she said that Raul Julia, who played her husband, she could never go back to without him. She could never ever do that.
You know, I was, and I love the actor, don't get me wrong, but I was very disappointed when Wednesday came out. Catherine Zeta-Jones does a pretty good Morticia, but Gomez, he's almost more he's almost more like the cartoon, the Wednesday cartoon. He wasn't this, you know, like tall, you know. I don't know. It doesn't, it seems to me like he doesn't fit that role.
Now, when I heard they cast Catherine Zeta-Jones, I could see why they did that. She's got the long dark hair. She's got the whole femme fatale going on. When I saw, as like I say, who they did I'm not saying anything against the actor, but for
Right.
me, there's no chemistry. There is, from what I've seen of it, there's no chemistry like there was with Angelica Houston and Ryle. There wasn't that sexual chemistry. There isn't this sexual chemistry in this. And in this picture I've chosen, you can see she's just sitting in that iconic chair that Caroline Jones used to sit in
Right.
The Addams Family. But Catherine Zeta-Jones is beautiful, and I want to bring up a couple of things about Catherine Zeta-Jones. She's obviously from Wales. She's a Welsh actress. And she was wanting, she said, to bring a fresh, something new to Morticia. And when everyone closes their eyes, she said, everyone has an image, which is the dark hair, dark dress, etc., etc. But she wanted to change her slightly different clothes. Now I haven't watched it, so I tell you why I haven't watched it, because it put me off when I saw Gomez.
When you saw what?
When I saw Gomez.
Well, okay, look. This is Angelica Houston.
I know. Yeah.
Oh, hold on.
Look at them. They just look amazing together.
I mean, look how handsome he is.
Mm-hmm. And it, you know, as I said, they look like a couple that are having sex all the time.
And right, and even Raul Julia.
Yeah, that was the first one. No, that's the first.
I mean, he's handsome. I'm sorry, but this does not.
I know.
Scream Gomez.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't look good. And I think because Catherine Zeta-Jones is so tall and the guy who plays Gomez is so short, there's very much a different dynamic. Catherine Zeta-Jones, I think, is a beautiful woman. We all know she's married to Michael Douglas. She went through bipolar, I believe, or something like that. She went through a tough time, but I think she's amazing in this role, though I hear she's had some surgery done since the first series. I've yet to watch it, but for me... You
haven't watched Wednesday?
No, I've seen clips of it, and for me, I just didn't get the vibe that made me want to go back for more. But we've included her because obviously she did play Morticia. Now, I know Michael, I'm saving one for Michael to do because he is excited to talk about it, but we're going to talk about this little lady here. And in fact, if I bring this picture in, first of all, you can see the difference between wearing the iconic, Christina Ricci is wearing the iconic sort of Morticia dress, and as she was as Wednesday. I thought she was amazing as Wednesday.
Oh, yeah.
I thought she was absolutely amazing. And there have been apparently 9 actresses who've played Wednesday. I didn't know that.
I didn't know there had been that many. No.
I just thought there was the 1960s, because obviously Jenna Ortega is the modern face of her now.
Right.
But the original one was Lisa Loring. She was the youngest one, but she didn't have that cocky. Angelica Houston and Christina, they were like, you could tell they were mother and daughter.
Yeah. Well, I think they're able to
attitude.
They're able to keep their face like expressionless. And you know, Jenny Ortega,
you just knew that she was going to turn out like...
Yeah. I mean, she does an excellent job as Wednesday. She really does. As an updated version of Wednesday, because you know, of course, she doesn't wear the same thing all the time. She doesn't always have her hair, you know, the same the whole way. but you can still see it in the way she's so expressionless. But I think she did a good job. The only downfall that I have with Wednesday is Gomez, and I love the actor. I just not for that role.
I think what I liked about Christina Ricci, she bought. If you remember, there was Pugsley and Wednesday. No one really remembers Pugsley. No one really remembers much what he had in it. It was about the daughter and how she went to summer school, and she terrorized all the young girls who were, you're not fitting in, and she tried to burn them all down and shoot them, and with the arrows when they were doing the Thanksgiving play. She never smiled, and when she tried to smile, it was very, very scary.
Yeah,
she made it an icon, and for me, I still stand by. I mean, other people have played Wednesday, of course. I still think that Christina Ricci was and is the best. Personal opinion. Wednesday. I mean, look at her. I mean, she went on to. She's in Wednesday now, I believe. She's in Wednesday now, isn't she, Christina?
Yes, she plays a teacher.
But honestly, like, I'm just looking at this other lady. Now, I'm going to bring Michael, and he's going to talk about this lovely lady. I never got into this, although she was iconic in America, and we used to have her over here played sometimes late at night. I did not know about this lady. My brother brought home a VHS video of her. She did a movie. And I remember watching it thinking, that woman is sexy. She had the black outfit, she had the big boobs, and she was the most iconic. And I'm going to bring in Michael. How you doing? Tell us about this gorgeous lady, because I know she's your favorite.
Before we go on, I have a question. Mm-hmm. Does anybody remember Hubert Adams?
No.
Oh.
There's 4 kids. I mean, sorry, 3 kids. Wednesday, Pugsley, and Pubert.
That's right. Yeah, he was the movie, wasn't he?
He was the baby with the mustache.
What happened to him?
I was just sitting here looking, and yeah, Pubert. Crap.
She was like, because she entered that movie where she was knitting, and there was like 3 legs or something.
Yeah.
So let's look at Elvira, because Michael, obviously, as I said, in the UK, we do know Elvira. Not as iconic in the UK as Morticia. Tell me about the lovely lady who plays Elvira. Let's bring her up on screen. There she is.
Katarina Peterson.
I can't. Come close to your microphone, Mike.
I'm sorry. Oh, I was trying to talk quietly like y'all. You kind of started something tonight.
Nope, still can't hear you. You got to come louder than that.
What the hell? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's just not loud enough. Let's see if I can turn you up. Carry on.
Okay. Can you turn me up? Let me get my settings here.
See if I can turn you up. No, it won't let me do it.
That is crazy.
But Elvira, she was. She's a sexy woman, Val. not being funny, but
I used to watch her all the time.
Great. What a great pair of boobs.
Oh, can you hear me better now?
No, you're still really quiet. You're still really quiet.
Oh, can you hear
me? I can hear it.
Can you hear me now?
No. Go out and try again, honey, because it's
echo.
Let's look at Elvira while Michael's doing that. What do you remember as a youngster growing up, seeing Morticia and Lily Munster and Elvira? Elvira was completely different, wasn't she?
She was funny and loud and exaggerated in everything. She had those big old boobies that were barely covered. And then she had this big hair, you know.
Yeah.
And she was kind of clumsy.
Yeah.
And funny, but sexy at the same time. And,
That's
I can remember watching her show and her, laying down on that chaise lounge that she had to watch the movie. And, I just, I don't know, I loved her. I loved watching her because she wasn't that solemn, mysterious. She was just loud and funny.
She reminded me of Amy Winehouse hair, like the beehive.
Yeah.
Because although she's got the same iconic dark locks,
Sure.
they're not the same as Morticia. Let's see if let's bring him in. Let's see if we can actually bring in his mic. Michael, how's that?
Can you hear me now?
It's just really
still
quiet.
an echo.
It's still an echo? That is crazy.
It's really, really quiet. Can you not turn your mic up?
I'm trying to turn it up here. Okay.
See, I can hear him good, but there's an echo.
So I'm gonna let's
all
have a
right,
look.
echo. How's that?
That's better.
Okay.
It was fine just then. Do it again. Go louder.
Can you hear me now? Is that better?
Yeah, it's a bit muffled though.
Okay. No, when you told me that I had Elvira to do, I was so happy. That was my original Scream Queen. And I did a lot of research, and I did not know this, but it seems like Elvis Presley has a thing for the women of the dark arts. Because Miss Patterson, when she was like 17, she had an interaction with Elvis that actually got her to move to LA. And I thought, boy, Elvis is really dabbling with all these
I'm
women
turning
of the
your
night.
mic up. That's why you're getting louder. Carry on.
Okay. But Elvira was supposed to be originally cast as Vampire's daughter. And I went back and watched a lot of Elvira's movies, to get ready to do this. And I did not know how many movies that Elvira had done. She even did appearances on like Johnny Carson and stuff like that. Then when I really deep dove into her, I did not know this, but she was raised by drag queens. That's where she got the makeup from.
Wow.
Yeah.
I did know that.
Then if you ever go back and watch like the old appearances on the Tonight Show, and you look at her out of makeup, she looks so ordinary. She still has the big boobs.
She's gorgeous, though. She's got that long red hair. She's absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, she's redheaded.
Yeah, she's got long red hair, and she is absolutely gorgeous.
And well spoken. And she was a Las Vegas showgirl at 17. And you look at Elvira. I watched one of the movies she did, and she plays this ditzy horror queen, and she's like falling all over herself, her boot. And there's one scene in the movie. She's like, "Hey, I'm getting out of the tub. If you don't move the camera, we're going to lose our NC-17 rating."
Do you know that why she wanted to play Elvira? Where Elvira came from?
They said it was based off of Vampire. She's supposed to be Vampira's daughter, and it was pitched to her. You're not going to be Vampire. You're going to be Vampira's daughter. And they told her, said, "Oh, it'll probably just be a one-off. Nothing's probably going to come of it." And she really embraced the role. And when she did, like beer commercials. That woman sold everything from beer to wheelbarrows. You know what I'm saying? And and that's her true figure. You know what I'm saying? There's no corset, no nothing. The boobs are real. The waist is real. The legs are forever. And she just looks like somebody that you could go out and have a really twisted time at night with. You know what I'm saying? She'd be out playing with the Goonies.
What was the car that she drove? What was quite iconic? What was it? Was it a hearse or something?
Yeah, I think it was a hearse. I was trying to think. I was going to ask Google how it was.
I saw the movie that came out in the 80s where she fell in love with this dark-haired, tall guy.
Yeah.
And there's a pink background on the movie video. And I remember I had that movie for years, and I'd never seen Elvira. But she isn't she? Well, tell me a bit about her personal life.
I think she wrote a book like Becoming Elvira, and every time you Google her, there's like pictures of like short skirts, big boobs pop out at you, and it's like, and they kind of forget the woman who portrayed her. She's almost a caricature of herself, and now she only does limited whatever. And I forget how old she is now, but she still looks great.
From what I can tell,
78.
74.
74.
Yeah, she was in her 70s, but I couldn't remember.
I mean,
but still absolutely
amazing,
gorgeous, and
she's just beautiful. But she's really short, isn't she? She looks really tall.
That's what I'm thinking.
Screen.
Hey Google, how tall is Elvira?
Cassandra Peterson is 5 feet 7 inches tall.
5'7".
Yeah. She looks, when she's on screen, and what you would think, like Morticia and all them.
Yeah.
She looks, she just looks really tall, and I'm assuming it's the, straight black dress and all that. But
yeah, the legs and the boobs do that.
Yeah.
Interesting is that Elvira is the vampire-like creation of Cassandra Peterson. She was born in Manhattan, Kansas, September 17th, 51. As a toddler, she pulled a tub of boiling Easter eggs off the stove and burned over 1/3 of her body, and the burns left her visibly scarred. I did not know that. And also, they say who came first? Was it Elvira or was it Morticia Adam? Apparently, Elvira did not influence Morticia because Morticia Adams was created in 1938, Vampira 54, and Elvira in 81. Yeah. And I mean, Cassandra, I mean, I'm just looking here at her page. She is one beautiful woman. I mean,
she really is.
She has held up very, very well.
She dated Elvis Presley, which is kind of interesting because Elvis Presley was supposed to have had a relationship with Caroline Jones. Yeah. She said he's 100% responsible for me getting out of Vegas and going off with my career. Elvis said, you don't want to stay here. This is not a town you should be in. And I don't think I wouldn't have done that if anyone else but Elvis had said it to me. And I'm just looking down here where she says, we decided to keep it clean. We didn't want a real occult image for her. We wanted her between Mae West and Vincent Price, which I think is amazing because she's definitely got that Mae West vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's got that. It's like almost a bubbly personality, but it's kind of like a dark bubbly.
Yeah,
it's kind of like a sass mouth meets,
It's just all of her movies are kind of, the way she portrays it is almost cartoonish.
Yeah.
And it's like I said, I watched the one the other day. She was in the castle and it's like medieval times, and she had her sidekick with her, and she's like, she's eating or whatever. Then every time this girl takes a bite, she's like, oh no, you need to watch your figure, and she throws like a whole turkey leg away or whatever, and this woman's starving, and it's just like she was oblivious. And I'm like, no, but Elvira was kind of what got me into like the dark stuff with the red lighting and the dark clothes or whatever.
Well, you remember when we were younger and we watched it, and it come up, Elvira, Mistress of the Darkness, and you're like, cool,
yeah,
because you thought you were doing something or watching something you wasn't supposed to be watching.
She's a real icon because this lady has gone on to have her own signature line of costumes, DVDs, 4 books. She's authored 4 books, recorded 5 music CDs, a vegetarian and a long-time animals' rights advocate, and spokesperson for PETA, I think, or PETA, as you guys call it. But one thing
no, that's something totally different. PETA.
I'm interested in her personal life because I know and I'm just bringing up here now her personal life because there was something interesting I saw about her. She had a liaison with John Voight as well as Robert De Niro during the filming of The Godfather Part 2. She had a child by Mark Pearson. She lost, apparently in 2008, she revealed she lost her virginity to Tom Jones, calling the experience painful and horrible.
Apparently he hurt her, like
Yeah.
put her in the hospital.
Well,
Old Tom was much of a man, from
she
what they
revealed
say.
in her memoirs, Yours Cruelly, Elvira. She's in a relationship with a woman, Teresa. They began their relationship following the separation from her husband. Now, that's an interesting thing to talk about, that she said that she stopped portraying Elvira in 2025 because she could no longer wear the outfit at her age. People don't want to see Elvira at 90. I think that's wonderful that she said that, because she keeps it iconic.
Yes.
And I think what is interesting about this lady is that she's just taken one role and she's made it her own, and she's gone, right, dresses, DVDs, books, money. She's obviously had difficult background, but for me, she played it, she was a comic. She was very much, very cheeky.
Yeah.
That's why I wanted to look in her private life, because I did hear that she did have something quite traumatic happen, and I didn't realize it with Tom Jones.
Yeah, he put her in the hospital.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, he is from Wales.
I didn't know Tom Jones was from Wales.
Oh my God! You only have to listen to his voice to know that. So here's a question: looking at all these women, because the reason we picked these women is because we wanted to look at these ladies were for our Halloween show. But what is it about Gothic women that Hollywood loves? Why is Hollywood drawn to the dark side of the force? And they like their women. And let's look at the latest one, Wicked. Now, with Wicked, you have
Seen that one.
the two iconic, the Wicked Witch of the West and Glinda. And these poor girls, I'm not being funny, but they looked completely normal till they were in that movie, and now they're as skinny as a rake. But I watched Wicked for the first time the other day, and to me, it just doesn't work. But what is it about that and Harry Potter? Let's look at Harry Potter with witches and magic and stuff like that. Hollywood has a real thing, and I did something similar with Scotty years ago called Satanic Hollywood. What is it? Why is Hollywood so interested in the dark side?
I think if you see it, they're always talking about the occult side of Hollywood. So I don't think it's much of a reach, because like you said, the satanic side of Hollywood, and it's kind of taboo. I know why I'm drawn to these ladies for, and there's probably a different reason than they are, but every one of them's absolutely gorgeous. Every one of them looks like, they're very devoted to one side. Like if they're on your team, you don't need another woman in your back, behind you. And I used to, one of my favorite pickup lines when I was back in the day, I'd always tell them, hey, I'm Gomez. I'm looking for my Morticia. Morticia loved that man without cause. She'd cut the heads off of roses. She'd tell, and she'd tell Wednesday, hey, go, get out and underfoot, go bury your brother in the backyard. And they lived in a big old mansion, drove a cool car. I'm thinking, anywhere else they'd be talking about the makeup. They would have been Ward Cleaver and what was Ward and Joan or whatever her name was, Cleaver. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, then with the Monsters, when Rod Zombie, I'm a huge Rod Zombie fan, but the way he redid the Monsters, me and Rod needs to have a talk, because he screwed it up.
He did. I hated that. I absolutely hated that movie.
Lily Monster Karloff, I cannot never pronounce her first name.
Yvonne De Carlos.
She did a lot of westerns. She was with John Wayne in McClintock. Yeah, gorgeous.
Didn't she play on Bonanza some?
I think so, because they used to do the whole rounds between all the westerns, because that was all shot on one Hollywood studio.
Yeah, I think she was. I think she was in like Bonanza and Gunsmoke and all those at one time.
Yeah, Gunsmoke. I forgot about that. But I look back, and Herman and Grandpa both played on Car 54 for RU. Fred and Al, I forget what Grandpa's last name was. Maybe somebody can tell me, but it was Fred and I think Al. and they was known as a comedy duo. And
but how many times do you look at his face and not see Herman Munster?
the makeup.
I can't see that actor. He was in a movie, I think, with Tom Hanks and Dan Aykroyd, and you could only see it. You could see sort of the bolts, and him, I think he was very much typecast. But I think Hollywood loved Gothic women because a Gothic woman, Michael, and I'm sure you would agree, is a powerful femme fatale woman who doesn't have any problem telling you as it is. She'll kick your ass. She will walk away if you piss her off or she's not interested, and visually striking. And if you put like the goody kind of actress, and then you've got like the Gothic one, I find it absolutely fascinating how we are drawn to these dark women.
That's what I'm saying. As a man, do you want Sally that goes to church on Sunday, or do you want to go hang out with Elvira, Lily Munster, Morticia? You know what I'm saying? Who's going to rock your world and keep you safe? Who's going to be willing to bury bodies for you? It's not going to be Ward Cleaver or whatever.
Think about it with as far as movies and things. I think there's a lot of us that are kind of interested in that, but perhaps don't want to do it ourselves. It's almost like there's a wreck, rubbernecking at a wreck. You're kind of drawn to that dark side, and it's safe to watch it.
I usually don't go real deep into, like I said, about certain things, but there's somebody on here that can remember when I first, she's talking about practicing the art or something about witchcraft. I said, do you study or do you practice? I'm cool with both. And now she's over here talking to her.
Yeah, but you're weird. See,
I am weird. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
We're not all weird.
Hey, I can get later, get sacrificed either way. I'm willing to go. And
he's right, because I do have a very dark, I am that sort of,
it didn't scare me. It intrigued me. I'm like,
well, as a kid, I was really shy and I was very insecure, wasn't confident, quite vulnerable. And I watched these women and they were mentors for me. It was a woman who had a man who loved her, and he was loyal to her, and she was this beautiful, dark-haired, wearing black, powerful, sexy woman who had no problem. And she became, especially Morticia, she became very much like Angelica Houston. I mean, I was going back in the 90s, obviously, with her, but I was like, I want to be Morticia. I want to be that Morticia. So when as we all do as kids, we experiment, we try and find who we are, how we look. And for me, I've always been drawn to the darker side of it. You can tell with my makeup and with the way I am, even with Wicked Women, when we designed Wicked Women, we chose red, black and white and very bold colors, but also quite demonic and quite vampish, because that is part of Val's and my personality. And even though we come along and we wear black, red and white different weeks and everything, we've all got that, as she said, the first lady, Theda Bara, every woman, was it her? Every woman has got a vampish side to her. She's so right.
But you think about it. It goes back to one of the first shows that we did, The Womanly Wilds. These women knew how to use what they had. And like I said, and it drew me in. And I'm drawn to that mysterious whatever. And it's like, oh, that is taboo. Oh, I shouldn't go there. Mama told me there's women out here, they're succubus. They're going to take my soul. But it goes back. You even think the Water Boy, Adam Sandler, really, really iconic coming. And and his mom was like, "Women are the devil. They're going to take your seed and your soul." And he's like, "I saw her boobies and I liked them. Vicky Valancourt." And she looked at him and she said, "Here's what the score is going to be." Like I said, the mascara. And Steve was talking about seeing me in mascara. Hey, if the ladies want me in mascara, I put it on. I don't give a shit. You know what I'm saying? That's the reason I'm Mr. Wicked.
Do you not agree, Michael, that Morticia and at least Wednesday, they are beloved because they are strong women with a wit, and they will take you down with one comment. And for girls watching that, growing up, these are showing that the Gothic side, or the Gothic women, are dark and desirable. I mean, who doesn't want to have a Morticia, or even a Wednesday?
Wednesday, I watched that series. I like it, but I'm with, I cannot get over the new Gomez. Great guy. Don't want to trash him as an actor.
He's a good actor.
No, I really love his movies, just not this one.
No, and I'm like, there's a reason that she run off to, not to give any spoilers, but to take care of the school with Wednesday. Who wants to go home with a fat piece of shit? Because she's a hot, attractive woman, and this dude looks like he's had 3 too many Big Macs. Then he's got his.
But they love each other.
Who even paired them together? Like, who paired them together?
Somebody was on drugs. They was on drugs. They had to be.
If you all have seen
the Beast,
if you've seen the cartoon,
he
looks exactly like the cartoon.
But even Lurch looks fucked up.
Do you remember Daryl Hannah playing Morticia as well? Do you remember that?
I do not.
Awful. If you Google it, Daryl Hannah played Morticia, and it was
like, I want to see that or not.
Spin-off show. It was awful, and I was like, please don't do that to so an iconic, because the Gothic ladies that we're talking about, they had dramatic makeup, they had great figures, they had red for blood, sex, and womanhood, which, as you can tell with Wicked Women, we have exactly those colors in our symbol in the back. And that's one of the reasons that Val and I chose those colors, because we said we want it vampish. We want it to have that dark side to it, but also the white, as in the light as well. So there's a reason that we have those colors. But I think women, when I was growing up, I was looking for someone I could really be a mentor, an icon, and I didn't have Elvira, but I had Morticia.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Isn't that awful?
You want to talk about an antidote for an erection?
She got some like 5'6" head.
Yeah, as long as I know.
It gave it absolutely, you know what I mean? I mean, as Steve says, Morticia was worshipped.
But the guy that played Gomez, I don't know. He's been in a lot of movies.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's Tim Curry.
Yeah, Tim Curry.
He's been in a lot of movies, and he always plays the bad guy. Seems like.
Do you know what his iconic role was that got him over the top? He played the transvestite from Transylvania in Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Oh yeah,
He was also the demon in Legend with Tom Cruise. He was fantastic there. I think people find Gothic women sexy, mysterious. They've got a rebellious vibe, which
a little dangerous. You know what I'm saying? You don't know if you're going to get laid or sacrificed. And like I said, it's
exactly.
Well,
it's like playing with danger, and it's like it's taboo. And I think a lot of it is like I shouldn't, but I want to. And that's like I seen Dave said talking about Barbara Eaton. But during that whole time, it was very dark.
She was all like Jeannie, though, wasn't it? She was very.
Was that Barbara Eaton, or who played Samantha? Samantha one calls Bewitched.
Elizabeth
Warren or Elizabeth.
Montgomery.
And absolutely, that was another absolutely gorgeous woman.
I love that show. It was like one of my favorite shows.
And you're talking about the censorship on how Morticia could only act a certain way. I Dream of Jeannie got took off the air because Barbara Eaton showed too much belly button.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and she was a genie, you know, and Barbara, Barb said Elizabeth, and like I said, absolutely gorgeous women, you know,
Mhm.
and they had power. They was unafraid. And who played her mom? I cannot remember who
Oh gosh,
played,
I don't know. The redheaded
but
chick.
yeah, but she was just like so boom, boom, boom. It's like, oh, you know, if you screw with me, I'll turn you into a mole. And she
Yeah.
would, you
Do
know,
you remember though
no
the
fucks to
late
give.
70s where, well, in England in the late 70s, punk was the
Oh yeah,
music, and
Iggy Pop.
people walked around with their Mohicans, and they had, like, you know, the big safety pin and God Save the Queen, it's all bollocks, you know, T-shirt, and these people were seen as odd, weird, because they followed their own rule and they followed the bang of their own drum. And
Yeah.
I don't remember in the 70s seeing many Gothic people, Gothic dressed. And even when and if you go back to movies like The Craft that came up, and it was like, oh, you know, those girls are weird. That, you know, and even in The Breakfast Club with Ali Sheedy's character, it was like, you're odd. You know, she's very goth. And I wanted to actually bring up something about goths. What is which I've just been reading, and it's really, really interesting. What makes someone a goth? Well, apparently it's their ideologies and values are consistent with free thinking and the freedom of expression. But there are 3 rules that a goth will follow. One is, number 1, embrace the darkness. Number 2, kill your fear. Number 3, live for death, right? That's apparently the 3 rules. But for me, like Marilyn Manson, the singer, there's a guy, you know, he dated the beautiful, oh my God, I can think of her name. She's in the promo, Rose
McGowan.
That is a woman who actually kicks ass and has stood up and made a difference for so many women.
But she's messed her face up. But she used to be absolutely gorgeous.
But
and now she looks like everybody else in Hollywood.
But I think she's still got that energy that she had as Paige.
Absolutely.
In Charms, very much so. But
that was this show I was trying to think of, Charmed, because they all look fairly normal. But Sabrina the Teenage Witch, the lady with the black cat, and I always thought that was kind of neat.
Are you talking about the comedy one or the one they did later on?
The comedy sitcom.
Yeah, and what was the cat's name?
I was trying to think.
Salem.
Yeah, Salem. Yeah.
The thing is, the second series they did, which is different altogether, much darker. For me, it's like Hocus Pocus. Let's just bring up that movie, for instance, with the 3 witches, Bette Midler, Sarah Jessica Parker, using just those characters. The dramatic makeup, you know, strong characters, women that don't take no, go for what they want. As young girls growing up, we are influenced by these women. We want to be them. And so we experiment. Red makeup, red lipstick is sexy. Black, it makes you look more powerful and older. You know, it's all about taking control of your life. And for me, I still live. I wouldn't say I live all the rules of the goth, but it's like occasionally I wear other colors. But for me, it's like I was drawn to the dark side of things, and
the dark arts.
You know, tarot, clairvoyance, occult, witchcraft. It wasn't because I saw it on telly and went, oh, I want to go into that. It was a natural thing that drew me to them.
I'm surprised your Bassett has a normal name, because I know what the fish's name are. You know, like I said, I'm surprised your Bassett has a normal name, because I know what the fish's names are. But it's like, and you know, and
Huckleberry's like really weird. He's got like a normal name.
Yeah, because the cat's vampire. And you got Crowley and what's the other one's name?
Well, I had Crowley, Castiel, and now I have Lucy Finn, and Chuck.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You know, the poor fish carries the brunt of it. But no, but I get it, and that's like I tell people, we're drawn to different things in life, and the monsters I watched, and they they didn't get no royalties for that. They
I
did
think
make some
that's wrong.
movies, and Hollywood was a different time back then. But the movies that they went on, and there was one where the monsters went to the UK, they went to England, and but you're talking about dark, and I think a lot of times that the people who brought that in, because Fred's son had drowned in a swimming pool, and the makeup made him lose so much weight,
Wow.
and they would have to give him IVs on sets and force water into him from losing all of the weight from the heavy makeup and the prosthetics they put on him. And a lot of people don't know that, but his son died. He was like 8 or 9 years old. He was very,
Wow.
very. I seen it, and but Grandpa, I can't remember what Al's last name is, but Lily and even Eddie, all of them kind of, they was like this little makeshift family that kind of bonded together after they got over that whole "look at me, I'm a star" thing, but like I said, they actually took her to the side and said, "Look, this is our plight. Either we can be in it together or not." And but they really really rallied around him from like and even the movies, at the end of the movies when they did the monster movies, where it was like monster go home, the monsters go to England, but they really really rallied around Fred, where he was where the role had took such a toll on his head.
He suffered though. Fred Gwynn, I think that was his name.
Yeah,
He suffered. He could not get a really decent part because he was, and even the young guy that played the werewolf, he had a difficult life. Why is it a lot of these characters have difficult lives?
Butch, I cannot remember what his last name is, but he's still, well, I can't remember if he's still alive, but even as a grown man, in his 60s and 70s, he was still making appearances as Eddie Munster because that typecast him so bad.
And I do a lot of Comic Cons, and I see a lot of characters, and one of the characters I've seen a lot of girls dress up as is Harlequin. She seems to be the new one on the block, and beautiful.
Quinn. Oh yeah.
And
he absolutely hates that costume.
Oh yeah.
She hated that costume.
She said the shorts is so short that it left nothing to the imagination, and when she got over, it really left nothing to the imagination.
I think now I know that Angelica Houston was wearing a metal corset. I have so much respect for that woman, that she was pushed into that every day. She could barely breathe. She couldn't eat. She couldn't sit down.
Now you know why she walked like that.
And she
wasn't the stick, but the corset.
I defy anyone to wear a corset and breathe, because you can't. I'm just looking at the comments and I can see young Scotty is in the outer thing, which I shall bring him in a sec. But it's like, for me, Val, I mean, if you were, what woman inspired you as a girl in these women that we're talking about? Who inspired you?
Oh, you put her on the spot. She's got the same look like the people on Jeopardy when they don't know the answer.
Well, I'm trying to think, because I really enjoyed watching, like, the Munsters and the Addams Family and all that, but I like to be funny. So I think Elvira did more than them, because she was that, the statuesque woman, but she was also hilarious. She could laugh at herself.
Yeah.
And I think that made it more genuine.
For me, it was Morticia. I have to say, it was definitely Caroline Jones.
I'll be right back. I have to go get my charger.
She was Caroline Jones as Morticia was definitely someone that I watched growing up and really, really loved. I thought she was a very sexy woman in and the way she walked, everybody wanted that thin waist. We still do.
that
literally.
hourglass figure. Oh yeah, she was actually. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, oh, Cherie, and the way she's like, oh, don't talk French to me, and I'm like, yeah, talk French to her, buddy. You know that you know that's what's getting her motor running. You know that's what's doing. But the way they loved each other, you know, and it was really a love story. Everybody's talking about dark and hard, but you know,
It was.
and you had and I always thought Uncle Fester was the comedy relief. Then you had Thing, the
The
disembodied hand that run around or whatever. It's like
the guy who played Fester in the Angelica. Oh my God, he was in Back to the Future. Christopher Lloyd.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Inspired choice to play
And the light bulb in the mouth.
Because he married in one of the movies, and she was like trying to kill him all the time, throwing a radio in the bath, and you know, trying to blow him up. And he'd say, "Pumpkin, I'm here," and it was just, it was a great time. But Hollywood does have this drawn to this old femme fatale. Scotty, I want to say hi to you, sweetie. Have you been listening backstage?
I have, or just a little bit. And I don't know how much I have to contribute, but other than having grown up in that era and watched all those shows, excuse me, I have resurgence of this bad cold. So a little under the weather today. But Kenny let me know you were on, so I jumped in. And
the one and only KB.
There he is, yeah. And so, yeah, I have a whole list of television icons. I didn't know if you were focusing on Gothic per se.
We are focusing on Gothic ones, yes. Which of these dark Gothic ladies, you know, that you know, going all the way back, which ones were you drawn to, and why?
I got a question for Scott. Now that you're an available single man, if you could go on a date with any of these women and say, "Hey, I'd like to spend a couple of hours to get to know you better. Can I ride in your hearse or can I ride in the Monster Mobile?" What would be your ideal date?
Well, there was only a couple of them that were in that Gothic category, wasn't there?
Oh, no.
Yvonne DiCarlo and who played, you were just talking about her.
Caroline Jones, Angelica Houston, Catherine Zeta-Jones.
That would be my choice. I thought she was a lot more, to me, more attractive to the eyes than was, and it's not that Yvonne DiCarlo was no slouch.
Oh no,
but,
absolutely.
I thought Caroline Jones
she was fantastic.
Was awfully pretty.
But
then you stack her up against like Barbara Eden in I Dream of Jeannie, but that's not Gothic. Or Mary Ann from Gilligan's Island.
Oh,
not Gothic.
No.
But you know, we had our favorites when I was a kid. Yes. Hi.
So, I mean, Tori, you're not answered the question. If you had to have Elvira or Morticia, and there's 3 versions of Morticia: Angelica Houston, Catherine Zeta-Jones, and Caroline Jones. Which one would it be?
Yeah, even Wednesday, yes. The picture that she showed of her growed up dressed like her mom, which is
I can bring that up. I can show you. Let me see. Where is that?
Absolutely. Hold the phone.
That's Christina Ricci, right?
Jones,
yeah.
As Catherine Zeta-Jones as Morticia Adams. Catherine Zeta. Now, who is this? Is that?
That's Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Yeah.
Oh, there she is. Yeah. And man, it was the Zorro movies where I found her very attractive, and then she played her in the Wednesday series. So
yeah.
But it's not just the women. I mean, I'm thinking of some guys. Talking about Antonio Banderas as Zorro, all in black. Let's look at Rip, who was in Yellowstone very recently, all in black.
Yeah, but
very dark.
Before that role, he played like goofy, like street kind of dissy, dumb. Then he put him in a black vest and a black cowboy hat and give him kind of an attitude. And all these women's like, "Holy shit, where did this man come from? I want my Rip." I'm like, have you seen him in some of these other movies? He's a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Michael, what I'm saying is,
I've never seen any
women
of
or
those.
guys, people were drawn to the dark side, the dodgy, not dodgy. That's the word I want to use.
Questionable background,
Questionable, mysterious. You know what's going on behind that. I can tell you when I have dated people, and I actually say to them, I used to practice. I don't do so much now, but I practice the craft, and I'm a white witch. They go, ooh, really? And it almost turns them on, and you're like, easy, Tiger, easy. You know, at the end of the day, but it seems to have that effect on that. You have a woman that is witchy in some ways, or a guy that is that dark, swarthy type. I mean, we're definitely drawn to the dark side of things.
Well, I think we're drawn to the unknown. You know, if you don't do that, if you're not like that yourself, you're kind of opposite.
I just said his name.
You know.
I mean, here we are, all in black. And Michael's got a red background. I'm in black. Scott is in black. Val's in white, and our colours, as I said, in Wicked Women, red, black, and white, and they are the colours of sex and blood and death, and they're also very bold. And Scotty designed Wicked Women, and I said to him when he designed it, I want it to be strong and striking, using only these colours. And we found the picture of the Wicked Women, and he embraced it. And it's like I've often looked at the logo thinking, do I want to change it? Do I want to make it different? But I don't know. I kind of like it as it is.
But that goes back to a conversation we had the other day, and when we was teasing each other about different things, and I told you, you know, where I come from, sex is a full contact sport. If it's too rough, wear a fucking helmet, get you some knee pads. You know, it's nut up or shut up time. And that's what I'm saying. You know, it's supposed to be raw emotion, and that's what you see with a lot of the dark. It's unapologetically. It's over the top. It's that stuff. Like I said before, like you shouldn't, but you really, really want to. And it's like, and it goes, like I said, even go back to like Beetlejuice. We're talking about iconic goth women.
Winona Ryder, yeah.
And that's what I said. And I said, well, Beetlejuice. And she's like, well, that's not a classic. I said, honey, that's 25 years old. That that is considered a classic. And
man, way to make me feel old.
But
Michael Keaton as Batman was one of the darkest portrayals. He brought a dark, very much a dark. I mean, Christopher Bale was brilliant, but Michael Keaton.
Keaton was the best.
He was the Batman, and you just, I remember him and Michelle Pfeiffer in Batman Returns, and that was gorgeous. Such a striking. When they're dancing,
he was like the best Catwoman. He was, that was.
That's someone that I didn't actually put a picture of as Catwoman, because I remember, was it Eartha Kitt who was in the TV? Was it Eartha Kitt? She was in the TV position.
Yeah.
But it was, what was her name? The very best Catwoman. I didn't like Eartha Kitt as much, but I liked
Julie Newmar.
Julie Newmar.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's a woman. And
literally, when I saw Michelle Pfeiffer, and she's skipping as Catwoman, and and then towards the end when she's with Christopher Walken, and he's shooting her, and she goes 4 or 5 still alive. She's fantastic, and when they made Halle Berry Catwoman, and I was like, no, I'm sorry, you can't. Some things are iconic.
I think one of my favorite things about Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman is when you expect the black hair. Mm-hmm. She had her hood on, but when it got ripped, she had all this blonde curly hair sticking out.
Didn't she lap milk out of a cat bowl or something?
She did. Yeah.
I'm like, holy shit. But when I went really far back, I want since Scotty's here, and I was going to tease him about being the elder statesman here. Eva Green, Helen Bowman Carter, and sometimes
Helena Bonham
T.I.L.B.A.
Carter.
Sminty or Swinton, S.W.I.N.
Eva Green, very sexy woman.
Tita Swinty or something another. Her name is, and it goes
Tilda
way
Tilda Swinton.
Yeah, and some of these
she looks.
I'm like, wow.
Tilda is she has a very unique look.
But Charlie, is it Charlize Theron? She was in Snow White, and she played the evil queen. She's obviously blonde, obviously, but her costume is very gothic, very sort of dark. And as I said, we're drawn to these dark, strong characters because it's like it's that mysterious side. Would you agree?
They're screwing the characters up. I tried to watch
Angelina Jolie.
Yeah.
As magnificent.
Yeah.
What about you, Scotty, listening to all this? Is there sort of iconic dark figures that you've been drawn to, characters?
I'm still waiting to see who he picked for his date.
For his date, my date?
Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Catherine Zeta-Jones, more than likely than anybody. But I don't have a particular iconic woman or character that I think of as Gothic. If I were to go, not worrying about it being a man or a woman, it's definitely Zorro. I liked Antonio Banderas as Zorro. I could see myself dressed that way and sword fighting with my prosthetic leg. And which, by the way, is my final one is coming on Wednesday, and it's a glossy black. It's a sleek, metallic, glossy black, talking about Gothic.
That's
so, but Catherine Zeta-Jones is where I would land on that. And
why is it, sorry, because you and I did Satanic Hollywood on Robertson.
Right.
And we talked about that Hollywood does have this thing about the dark side, doesn't it?
It does. I think that goes with human nature, is that we gravitate to the darker side of things.
Yeah.
We gravitate to the blacks and the darks and the dark colors and the dark moods. And can you call that human nature in the sense of, life is shiny, for lack of a better way to put it. It's all in the light colors of, family and doing things and working and you see all those things in the, and I'm probably not articulating this well, but you see all those things in the light colors of life, even if it's good or bad. That's the whites. But what we want to gravitate to is, in those private times, or stepping away from the simplistic lightness of life, meaning the day-to-day, even if it's drudgery, the day-to-day, it's all black type on white paper, and color pictures. We want to break away from that, and we want to do something that's a little darker. If I look at, say, my Renaissance Festival costumes back in the day, I had colors, but I was primarily black. I had black velvet tights and black leather bucket boots that came up over the knee, and a black waistcoat, doublet that had silver lions on it and swords and all of that.
It's very striking, very striking. Black and red, I think, is the costume.
Yeah, it had one red square.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Black. I always see you in black these days, Scotty. I don't see you in any other color.
Well, that's access to my clothes. That's part of my problem. But I've got like 3 or 4 different shirts or sweaters and the rest has been down in my old master bedroom, which I cannot access right now until I have that leg.
This man is one of the most attractive men. That when he dresses up on Robertson, we never discussed what we were wearing. We never said, like, I'm going to wear red, I'm going to wear blue. It would be like, I'll meet you here at this time, and he would come on and he would just be like, wow, he would just come on the screen and he would have the jacket and the suit. And as I said, when Scotty did his show, it was like honey coming in your ear. But and I think we're all, as you say, we're all drawn to that dark side. And one of the things I want to look at in a future show is vampires, because there's so many people that are drawn to the whole vampire side of life.
What was the movie with Tom Cruise with vampires? When
I
they
want
said
to
that
look on some
Interview with the Vampire.
Yeah.
Because if you think about True Blood that came out, and this is something I won't go into too long, but yet again, we're drawn to characters who are dark and mysterious and dodgy, and they're on the dark side of things. And yet, do we see the lighter side of things boring? Do we see that they're more boring and not so nice? Is that right?
More the risk, more the reward. You know what I'm saying? The more you risk, the bigger the endorphin hit when you get it. And that's what I didn't mean there. But yeah, I was thinking Interview the Vampire, because you think about it, Boris Karloff's Dracula, the big long pointed nose, and he's kind of like all robotic. Then next thing you know, you got, what was it, Twilight. When the hell did vampires become fucking sparkly? Vampires are creatures of the night. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, holy shit! Vampires are this dark thing that sucks blood and preys on innocent.
I think that's the thing we do with everything, literarily, cinematically. We've got to now, because it's all been done before. Yeah. We keep trying to find new ways to present these things.
Yeah,
sure.
And, it's got to look a little darker. It's got to be. Look at things like, even in nature. Look at Harry Potter. Look at the first movie that came out. Kids movie. Yeah. Very, very kids movie, very happy, even though it had the ghosty stuff in it and the witchy stuff. But each progressive movie, you noticed, got a little bit darker, a little bit crueler, a little bit, and that's because that's what appeals, I think. You see that a lot in progressive sequels of movies, of books, things like that. They always take on a little darker tone.
Well, even things like Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yes.
They have a dark side.
Yeah.
But anyway,
George Lucas years ago, and he said he renamed the whole original trilogy once he had done that third movie. He said, I would call this now The Redemption of Anakin Skywalker, would be the name of the trilogy, the original trilogy. But that's not what it was.
Have you noticed how it has changed since Disney bought it from Lucas?
Yes.
The first one I watched after Disney took over, you don't notice it in the first ones, but I missed that dark. I missed that darkness because it wasn't in there.
The Kenobi series?
I did, yes. Yeah. Wonderful.
That was spectacular.
Well, Darth Vader is...
It's like, yes, Darth Vader is evil again.
But if you look at Darth Vader, he's dressed all in black.
Yeah.
He's everything from head to toe in black. He's this dark, you don't know what's going on behind the mask. And he is this mysterious, and you see Anakin, as time goes on, get the darkness through his eyes. And I watched the Kenobi one and I loved it, where they crack the mask, and when he talks as Anakin it's blue. And then as he swaps it over to Darth Vader, it goes red from his saber. And then the new one, Ben Solo, who became Kylo Ren, yet again all in black. And there's a lot of red and black in that movie, like in The Force Awakens. Very much.
What was it? The Sith Lord or the guy that had the double lightsaber with the horns or whatever? It looked like the devil. Ain't that the Sith Lord or whatever? Yeah. Yeah. Like
Kylo Ren was Ben Solo.
I can't think of his name.
But if you watch, I went and watched The Force Awakens the other day. There's a lot of red and black in that movie. They've used a lot of those two colors. And I think it's because Darth Vader in the original movies, when you knew he had the red behind his eyes on the mask, when he would walk, there'd be a lot of, we do see that satanic or dark or whatever, whether it's Gothic or whatever you want to look at it, we are drawn to the dark side of things where, you know, when Scotty and I, you know, and he used to design the Robertson things, I would be normally in black or red. I think I'm only in red and black actually. Scotty would be, I think there's one of him in blue, but it would always be black because it stands out. And I think the dark side of the Force is very much. I mean, I'd rather date Kylo Ren than Luke Skywalker. Just saying.
Let me ask you, talking about series like that. What do you think about Highlander?
Wonderful,
wonderful. I love Highlander.
Yeah, called Highlander. Because I know, and you know that's kind of from your side of the pond. But but the Force was if you fought another Highlander to get his eternal power, you had to cut his head off. You know, there was decapitation. And
that's not the only one.
Remember, your head leaves your neck, it's over.
How are you, Ken?
Hey, how are you?
Hey,
you better get in the house. It's cold.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Oh, it's nice. It's nice
You're going to freeze your butt.
So let me just cut in and ask Ken. So Ken, Morticia, Elvira, Lily Munster, and
I bet I can choose for him.
Were you drawn to those characters? Did you like them?
Well, I liked. I tell you what, really, a lot of people don't know that, but Lily Munster had a hell of a body.
She did.
Yeah, she had one smoking body. I mean, a lot of people don't realize that, but she was smoking.
There's photos of her online of where she like modeled or whatever.
Yeah.
And some of the outfits that they modeled her in, because, you know, women was pretty exploited back in the day by different men that was in Hollywood. And they'd always have to like lay on the couch and do these seductive poses and stuff and like different lingerie and whatever. And I can never say her first name, but Karloff, you know, she always had great photos.
Yeah, she really did.
I think the wig she wore gave her permanent migraines.
Yeah.
I'm trying to bring back. Hi, Val. Just trying to bring it back. Hang on a second. Where's it gone? There we go. There we go.
I needed a spotlight.
We gave you a spotlight, love.
Yeah, don't do that no more.
Throw the spotlight on that Too Hot and Scotty. Yeah, throw it on him.
Oh, yeah.
If you remember the Blues Brothers, two iconic guys in black and white car, black and white suits. All even Cab Calloway was in black and white. It's like these are colors that people, I don't know, it just seems to add to the character, doesn't it? It's like there's this, they were trouble, they were naughty, they got involved in lots of things. And when I went to a Blues Brothers show recently, the Chicago Blues Brothers, so many people dressed up as Elwood and Jake. And
see, they just remind me of the Men in Black.
No, completely different. Very different.
Just make me think of they're coming to ask me if what I saw.
Elwood and Jake next to Will Smith and what's his name? Tommy something. You just can't.
Yeah. Oh, Men in Black. Yeah.
Look into.
No, I don't mean the movie. I just mean literal Men in Black. That's what I think of when I see them. The shades and the hat and the suits and match and I can't help but think
well, guys, I'm gonna give you.
They're Men in Black.
I hate to cut you all short, but I got a bunch of kids in the house, the neighbors' kids and all, and they all waiting on Santa Claus come down the road here tonight.
Well, you know, Santa wears red and white and comes down chimneys. So, I mean, he's another character.
He breaks into your house and, you know, gives your kids candy and crap.
Talking of Santa, next week is our Christmas special. And people think it's going to be like, oh, lovely and jolly because it's Christmas. But actually, we're actually going to look at some of the dark side of Christmas and some of the dark things that go with Christmas as well as the light stuff. Michael's desperate to wear that hat next week. Desperate.
Krampus. Yeah, Krampus. Yeah, that's what. But you know why he breaks into people's houses? The poor man only gets to come once a year. Oh, he's got pent up energy. He has to get it out. But I don't know. But I want to.
It's nice to see all of us again, Steve. You're absolutely right. I mean, you know, Scotty and I, we used to do a show, Steve. We used to do a show. It was kind of cool, and it was called Robertson. And if you go to Scotty Roberts' channel on YouTube and go in his list of amazing videos he's done, you'll find a whole playlist of Robertson. Definitely check out the Satanic Hollywood one. It was really, really good. Definitely. And hopefully one day we'll be back out there doing it, Scotty.
I think we will.
All the R&Rs.
You will eventually.
Yeah, you'll get there. Yeah, that's
what we will.
You had good advice this morning I saw on your page.
What on my page?
Steve says he's watched all of the episodes.
I said I seen that you got some good advice on your page this morning.
Oh,
that's all.
Probably. I haven't really looked at it much today. So,
how are you feeling today? How's the cold?
The cold has got me a little run down today, but that's all right. That's mostly because I didn't sleep last night, so I'm good.
Did you get any antibiotics for it?
No, not yet. And it was worse yesterday, so.
I know, I saw you. You really
just kept me up all night, coughing and stuff. So.
Bourbon.
I was up all night. I did not sleep all night because Friday my mum was taken to hospital. She had a bit of a rough day, and I've got loads of stairs in my flat. And I was wearing these ankle boots, and I came down the last two, and my ankle just went straight over, and so my ankle's swollen now, and I spent all last night. I was awake till 5:30 in the morning. I spent all last night putting arnica and ice blocks and everything on it.
Oh boy.
So, and today, like, I've got steps everywhere in this building, is steps, and I'm just like, I just couldn't, you know. I've had to do it, and it's taken 2 months to get back here to do Wicked Women because we've been ill.
Right.
Yeah, she showed me the ankle this night. The ankle is blue, and it's probably purple today, but no, I could see.
I like that. Michael as an elf. Maybe you should dress up as an elf next week, Michael.
Like Buddy the elf, or just
Buddy. You have to do Buddy the elf.
Right.
Too tall to be a regular elf. You have to do Buddy.
And Will Ferrell was tall, so you could. I've got to see you in green.
Oh, Jesus Christ! I'd rather do mascara.
Oh, come on, you can do Buddy the Elf. But yeah, next week is our Christmas show. I cannot believe it's our second or third Christmas. And I haven't put the promo up for it yet, but it is I think I've got a wicked Christmas is the title. And then we go into the new year and we have Frisky at 50, which will be our first one of the new year.
That sounds sexy.
It is sexy. And then we have the lovely Join Klassen that will be joining us again in January for a different kind of show. I want him to come on and talk about something completely different. And also we have a lovely lady, AJ, and her charity, who's Bertha. She's understood that we're all behind. So we have some great shows coming up in January. But I also think that a lot of people want us to talk more about paranormal and witchy stuff as well. and we will be doing that, which is why the vampire one is a show. And Jack the Ripper, which Scotty and I tried so hard, we did touch on Jack the Ripper, but there are 2 authors I'm trying to get on board to, which I'm sure I can, to bring on board. But I think, Scotty, we got to get R&R back on the show, babe. We got to do it.
Do. And I think we should. It wouldn't take that much effort. We just have to do it.
Tuesday nights are just boring now.
That's right. That's right.
I've watched all your spirits climb over the course of the show. Thank you for making it happen. Well, thank you, Steve. I mean, we're a little family, and we stick together and support one another.
Absolutely.
And Scotty, if he used to have so many shows, he used to have 3 nights a week, one on a Sunday, and of course Tuesday night.
I started. I did 6 days a week.
Yeah.
I did Monday through Friday at 9 p.m. for 2 hours, and then Sunday morning with It's Sunday.
Sunday.
Then I cut it back to 3 a week because it started getting really heavy, and then we did Robertson once a week.
Yeah.
So on top of that, that's all over a year
we only
ago.
did it once a week, Scotty. Just remember, it was just 1 night a week we did it. And
and 1 night a week was enough.
It was not enough. We
carried you all the way through to the next week.
We did talk about doing it twice a week. We thought, well, maybe we'll go to Thursdays.
Yeah. It says, how can I miss you if you never leave? Right. That's what they say. You gotta leave your audience.
We had a really good dynamic. It's a really good dynamic. I mean, I still, when I send people to Robertson, I still send them to the first show that we ever did, which was pre-recorded. It was done on a Tuesday afternoon. I remember that Tuesday afternoon, and I was wearing blue, and because I could wear different colors.
I remember what you were wearing.
And Scotty was dressed in the most amazing. He said, "I look like a journalist," but he didn't.
I did the rolled up sleeves and the vest and the loose tie.
Yeah. And each week he would say to me, "Oh my God, I haven't dressed up. I feel dreadful. I've got to go and do it." And he'd run off, and he'd come back with a whole ensemble, and I'd just be like, "Wow, you look really good." And sometimes he was so funny. We wouldn't see each other, and I'd click on, and he'd be like, "I'm supposed to do a podcast."
Well, I did that every week for you, so it was like
we had great
all the time. So,
he probably didn't have any drawers on when he came back.
Probably.
I don't know.
I think he might have shown me that. Though.
Who cares? Nobody can see it.
That's what I tell people a lot of times. They'll be like, "Oh, you got a jacket and a towel?" And I said, "Yeah, but I'm wearing basketball shorts and sandals." They're like, "Oh, no, you're not." They're like, "No,
I mean, pajama pants or just about anything.
Well, I do wear shorts an awful lot. Like if here, I'm going to back this up. And I don't know if you can see it here or not, but yeah. So, you can't really tell.
Just
but
about,
yeah.
You know? And so.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing you get back into your wardrobe colors.
Yeah.
Me too. Hey, before I go, I just noticed it because I stood up. Can I do a little ad hoc promo?
Of course you can. Please do.
Hey, look at this, folks.
The hardback and the softback cover.
For those of you who did not know, my new book is out. The First 12 Days, it's called. And it's all about the loss of my leg, which, you know what? There are 500 people a day in the United States per day every year that lose a leg or a limb. And so it's not that uncommon. But I took my story and told it. And if I may, I'll just read you the little matter from the back cover of the book.
Of course.
It's 12 days. That's all it took for life to come undone. A sudden medical crisis, a damaged airway, a cascade of surgeries, the loss of a leg, a marriage slipping through trembling fingers, and a man left staring at the ruins of everything he once was. Most people don't survive that kind of collapse. Not in the soul, anyway, but Scotty Roberts did something. Somebody else wrote this for me. Scotty Roberts did something different. He wrote, "In these pages, you'll step inside the raw, unfiltered midnight hours of a man fighting for breath, for identity, for love, and for one more dawn that doesn't hurt to meet." So, told with honesty, the cuts and beauty that heals. The first 12 days is the journey through devastation and the first flicker of rebirth that rises out of ash. This is not a story about a man who gave up. It's the story of a man who refused to. If you've ever lost yourself, if you've ever wondered whether a broken life can be rebuilt, if you've ever stood in your own ruins, this book is a hand reaching back for you. The first 12 days is proof of a simple, ancient truth. You are stronger than what tried to destroy you, and your story isn't over.
I hope there's a fine looking picture of you on the back of that cover.
Oh, why, thank you. There's my temporary prosthetic leg.
Yep.
And
the beanie.
Here's my Gothic black and red.
That's a very good picture.
Yeah, I like that.
And
I do have some of Scotty's, because Scotty is an author, and I do have a lot of, I actually have 2 or 3 of his books. Nephilim, the rabbit one.
Oh,
Tam Hare.
And there's one other one, and so I do have them, and he's a fantastic author, very interesting.
Comes in soft cover too, by the way.
Michael, show the books you got from Scotty.
The rise and fall of the Nephilim.
Yeah,
and that's what I said. He will get back to that man.
Well, I was just going to pimp him out and say, ladies, I mean, Scotty is, he's going to be any moment free. And he's like, when he gets back out there, I'm sure they're all going to be like queuing up and a hotline. This man is, there's nothing you can't put your hand to and do. The podcasts, the TV show, your archaeology, your books, your designing, your what is it you call when you do the fairs and
the Renaissance? That's a long time ago.
This year's been a really tough year. It's the year of the snake, and it's all about getting rid of the old and cutting off the layers and becoming the new person that we needed to shed the old to become the new. And next year is the year of the horse, and it's all about movement, quick movement, moving on. And as I said to Scotty, he's got all these little things that he's done. It's not just one thing. It's like, I done this, I done that, I achieved that, and they're all little achievements. And some people will never do that in a lifetime. They will never ever do that in a lifetime. And he should be very proud of where he's come. And as I say, ladies, the man is a babe. When that voice comes back to normal, he has a voice like honey.
He will tell you about morning crafts and the dishes, and you will like it.
What was Eddie Murphy's line? One of his opening lines in Trading Places, which came out back in 1983. He's pulling a scam on the street, and he's got his legs all tucked up under him. He's playing a legless panhandler. And some woman walks by, and he grabs her by the hand and goes, "Hey, baby, once you've had it from a man with no legs, ain't no going back." So there you go.
You know what I just realized?
I do have one.
You know what I just realized? I cherish all the books that my friends send me. You know, beyond popular belief. You know, Michael can read and articulate sometimes, just not a pretty face. But Mark English, I just realized who wrote the book Wendy sent me. Mark God English. And you know, and if you've never seen Strangely Us, yours truly, Wendy and Mark.
If anyone wants to go and check out Strangely Us on Mark English channel, that was well, Mark and I did a short podcast. People still say, when are you coming back?
Yeah.
And I look at Mark and I'm like, when are we coming back, Mark?
And like I said, and I just realized, you know, and I think I know the reason.
Show the picture of Mark. Is there a picture of Mark on the back of the book?
I don't see one. I see all
Doesn't
the
sound
pictures.
like that.
Oh, let me tell you too, Michael and everybody else. The Rise and Fall of the Nephilim, that came out in 2012.
Jesus Christ.
And my agent, my publisher, has been on me for years to do an updated version of that.
Should.
Yeah.
So I've been writing that, and I've got two new chapters of that. Is all he wanted. Then refining the other chapters. It's just an updated version. So I've done 2 new chapters. I'm actually working on a third updated new chapter, and then the rest of the chapters will have updates on them. And
what I'm interested, Scotty, is you and I did a podcast about, you were obviously married at the time and I was single, and you were like, well, I've not been out there for a long time. I really think that it's going to be interesting to see you do podcasts and episodes of what it's like to be back out there after so many years, right? And what it, because it's going to be a shock to the system for anybody.
Oh yeah, there's another side.
I think it will be an interesting. This is what I've discovered. This is what I'm seeing. This is what I didn't know, and because it's a whole new ball of wax, and so I think it'll be quite interesting.
Well, it's been 20 years. So.
Yeah.
So
let me ask Scotty. Do you remember what you wrote when you signed the book for me?
I don't.
Oh, so I thought I was special, you know.
It was impromptu. It was extemporaneous off the top of my head. So
it says, Brother Michael, question everything, Scotty. Then you sign the bottom of it, you know. And I question everything, from the paranormal stuff to the Nephilim to the story of creation, and that even goes back to the darker side. I said, you know, it goes back to the Druids. It goes back to before Rome took over, you know, and wiped out all the people with Stonehenge and in England and the UK and stuff.
Right.
And they brought in that pesky little thing, Christianity, which will probably get me.
I've seen movies carrying Scotty's book. I have seen I think it was Rose McGovern actually.
It was Megan Fox. Remember, she did that little series.
Yeah, Transformers.
On mysteries and things like that, and she had my books. That one, and then another time, almost 6 months later, she was seen carrying my book on the Exodus. So it's very interesting.
Yeah.
So.
See, I mean, she's a babe.
That was another one of the dark. You know, Megan could go very goth, very very attractive, very hot.
I mean, it's interesting, isn't it, Scotty? Because like the one thing I've known you, been your friend a long time, and known you a lot, but I've never, and I've seen you be interviewed by Rocky and other such people. But I actually think it'd be quite interesting for Val and I to actually do an interview with you, right? You know, the show, because as women coming on and asking certain questions, I think it'll be quite interesting, because you always did your show, you always had your guests, and it was always like you would talk about things from your point of view. But I actually think having and maybe even Sparky will come on as well. But I think it'd be quite interesting to have ladies that will ask and bring out perhaps a little bit more than perhaps your male presenter will.
You better clear your little black book. These women are going to put you on the market, Scotty. You better polish your prosthetic.
Well, I mean, you know, ladies, he's an attractive. And the thing is, you know, when you've been ill, like I've been ill for two months with this terrible cough, and it's driving me insane. But when you've been ill, Scotty's been ill for such a long time.
About a year. It's going on a year now.
He thought, I'm never going to.
Christmas Day last year.
I'm never going to come out of it. Yeah. And you lose your self-esteem and you lose your confidence and you become a shadow of your former self. And it's about getting back out there and actually realizing that you are, an amazing person. And I was going through some of his pictures and I just thought, I have to show this. Look at this amazing man here. Like, look how hot he is.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that is
don't chase, replace.
I saw him when he was on, let me think of which show it was. I can't think what the show was about, but you were on it. It was like on the History Channel.
Probably History's Greatest Mysteries. There was
something like that.
Manuscripts.
It might have been that one.
Ancient.
I know you had your hat and your scarf and your jacket and all that on, and it was just, yeah.
I mean, was he on with George Norrie?
There it is.
I mean, look at the Robertson. This is Robertson and Robertson. I mean, I'm trying to bring it. There you go. You can see it better now. Look. I mean, he just.
Thank you. I got to tell you, I got to go right now. Because I got to go.
Steve, thank you for joining us.
It's so good being here. Thanks
Take care,
Scotty.
I'll
take care of yourself.
I will. I can't remember how to get out of here.
The little button that says leave studio.
Leave studio.
Press, do you want me to take you out, Scotty?
Okay. I'll go out on my own.
He said he can see himself out.
Bye.
Bye, love. Yeah. Well, let's bring us back here. It's been a kind of a fun show tonight, and it's now gone 11:27 in the UK, so I'm going to wing my way to bed. But thank you, my lovelies, for making this coming back as a fun topic. As I said, we were going to do this on Halloween, and then we decided that we would follow it through. So I'm looking forward to next week because it's called I put it down as a wickedly Christmas, I think, and hopefully Sparky may come along and join us as well. But we will be dressed up because it is Christmas, and if you can't dress up at Christmas, when can you not?
When you miss Halloween, you gotta dress up at Christmas.
A wicked Christmas, that's the one, in a week's time. And then the first show of the new year will be called Are We Frisky at 50?
I don't know. Bicycle helmet.
I about forgot what that means.
Yeah.
Frisky. I don't know. We have moments of it. Val, it's lovely to be back with you. You're looking fabulous. Every time I see you, your hair's getting longer.
I know, right? It's really getting and redder.
Mine was down here and it was getting to a point where it was thin and straggly, and I was like, cut it. So now I've gone back to my sort of cheeky ball.
I was noticing in my tablet, it's like red, and then I've got my gray that you can see, like big shiny. Yeah.
But you look fabulous. It's nice to see you in white as well, because and that actually is a better position for you to be in than where you normally are.
Well, I have my desk now, so I have light up here. And coming from the bottom also.
I was just going to say, Michael's in the red room. Very 50 Shades, darling.
Oh, absolutely.
I just have to get rid of these boxes back here. I keep trying to scoot and cover it up.
That is another show.
On the road to get him to help clean it up.
That's another show I'd like to do on, which is S&M bondage. I mean, I know Val and I touched on it, but I'd actually be interested to look a little bit further.
We talked about it.
Oh, put me in, Coach. I'm ready to go. Put me in, Coach.
Yeah, we didn't do it.
We talked about it.
I've got one more. I got one more. Put me in, coach. I'm good to go. Whips and chains excite me. You know what I'm saying? Holy hell.
Horse whips, say no more.
That's it. Hey,
I actually
Yeah,
watched.
Mama don't do pain, so.
paddles.
I watched
and
all 350 Shades and so disappointed because
the last two sucks.
they're all rubbish. I mean, he is not Christian Grey. I'm sorry, it should have been Alexander Skarsgård.
But you think about it.
I haven't seen any of them or read them.
These people take they guess what the character should be, and I'll be honest with you, they're shitty fucking guessers. If I was a woman and I saw this little bitty twig of a man order me around, I'd punch him in his mouth. I'd be like, "Hey, no, you're my bitch. You're going to be the one."
I think it was all about her discovering
her sexuality and all that.
Sexuality and being submissive. And he was obviously an alpha and dominant, but actually she had the power all along because
in what universe would that man be an alpha? He's not even a beta at best. Well, it's almost like a Disney. You're talking about Disney.
As I said, Alexander Skarsgård was the one that people say should have been picked for Christian Grey. He would have been
what is it? Eyes Wide Shut was better BDSM movie than that.
That's saying something.
And but it's like Star Wars. Disney got their hands in Star Wars, screwed it up. Disney got their hands.
They took all the dark out of it.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I told him. If you want a series to die and go in the tank, let Disney put their fingers into it. Doctor Who, they screwed up my beloved Doctor Who so bad that I want to actually just scream.
Yeah, but hang on. When we're talking about beloved Doctor Who, just remember you came to it after I did. I've been a Whovian since '73.
Oh Lord, no.
You got a long way to go. I keep saying about bringing Mark on as well because Mark's interested to do a show with us about paranormal and stuff as well.
Full disclosure, I had saw Doctor Who back in the day, and I thought, this is kind of whatever. And I didn't get. Then talking to Wendy's like, this is where you need to start, Michael. I really think you'll get into it. Then it was Christopher, the one Doctor Who, the one that come out with us or whatever. And I was like, holy shit, this doctor, he's a pimp. He's flying around in his blue box. He's got these young, attractive women that's just hanging all over him. And he's the doctor. And I'm thinking, why didn't nobody else love me enough to tell me that Doctor Who was so kick-ass? I jumped into it.
I did. So you didn't go without it. So this week, I hope we both, all of us, have a great week. I could do with a better one. How about your week, Val? What's it looking like?
You all say a little prayer. Got to go back to the doctor on Thursday. But other than that, it's getting ready for Christmas. That's about it.
I have an MRI, an X-ray to do, and a few other things. So that'll keep me out of busy, and hopefully the ankle's better. But I've really enjoyed being back tonight. It's so nice to be back, and I hope people have enjoyed the show and they carry on. Please like, share, and subscribe, and put the old notification button on. And you can't have Sunday without a bit of Wicked. I keep telling people.
I'm telling you.
They won't listen.
And this year your Christmas will be a little wicked, and make it better.
I actually got asked a question today, and it's a good question. We were going to do a calendar, and it never happened for charity. And it's like someone said to me today, "Are you still going to do the calendar?" And I said, "Well, the thing is, Val's over there, and no one's taken any pictures of her. I can get my side done, but we need you to get yours done, woman."
I will actually search around and see.
Do you know how long I've been listening to that girl?
Well, I wasn't able to before, but I will now.
Tuck it in and whip them out and take a picture. It's very simple.
Well, no, it's actually like a calendar, not just like that.
It was like a cow with a. Yeah, no.
No. Mm-hmm. But anyway.
And Michael, thank you so much for coming on. I've always enjoyed your little your input, and I love the red room. So pretty, and K9. Thank you.
K9. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. K9. You know what I'm saying? this is one of my favorite trinkets that was sent over to me. It's called Canine because everybody likes it. You know, everybody knows me. The dogs are here to guard their daddy and keep me warm or whatever. And I thought there's only one canine, but I figured out the other day there's like 3 different canines in this series, and I'm like, so you know, I'm like I said, she gives me shit, says I'm still a newbie hoobie or whatever.
You know, Michael, you will feel like way up there. I've never seen not one episode.
I would just skip to Capaldi. I mean, I don't get me wrong, David Tennant's great, but I wouldn't kick Capaldi out of bed. I've got to be honest. But
what was the other one that got me started? And he only did like 1 season when they brought it back.
Christopher Eccleston, David Tennant, Matt Smith, and just stop watching after Capaldi. When Capaldi goes, just stop watching it. It's really not worth.
He goes to shot, and
that's the thing is, Doctor Who is so huge, and Mark is a massive Whovian, and he and I didn't like John Pertwee, as which you guys would not be aware of who I'm talking about, but literally we had a whole video on that. So Michael, love you lots. I'm going to take you out. We'll see you next week. Bye, honey. Val, just you and I.
Just us. It always seems to come back to just you and me.
Well, darling, that's because we're wicked.
That could be it.
I'm away to my bed now and hopefully a better night. But it's so lovely that you're well enough to come on, and it's really lovely that it's just the old team.
I know, right?
You look fabulous.
And it feels so much more comfortable.
Yeah.
You know, when it's just no conflicts anywhere.
Yes, and I mean, although that may happen at times, I think we decided to come back with an easy topic because we wanted to finish the one that we started about the Gothic women, and I'm glad we did that because those women are icons and legends, and it's good to tell a little bit of their story. But I think it was just an easy one to come back to. And as I say, next week is the Christmas one. Please come and join us. Val and I and Michael and anyone else who's with us will look fabulous. And you can't have Sunday without Wicked, can you, Val?
No. It's just
they've had 2 months of a break.
It's just not a great Sunday.
Yeah, they've had 2 months without it. What did they do with themselves in those 2 months? You know, who did they go and watch?
I don't know. No, it's good.
But anyway, darling, love you lots. I will see you next week. And thank you to everyone that's in the comments. Thank you to Steve. I'm just going through them. To Carlene, to Ken, to Barbara, to Rapid Dog, He was here as well. And so many others. As William was here as well. Kelly Bell, thank you, and just thank you so much for coming and supporting us, Val, and I appreciate it.
We really do. And Wendy, I love you too. I hope you sleep well. And
you sexy woman, you.
And we will party next Sunday, and hopefully everybody will come along with us.
And if you're really lucky, because New Year's Eve is on a Wednesday, and normally we tend to do a New Year's Eve from the UK, you may just get a 31st, and you may also get a 4th of January. So stay tuned. All right, darling, gonna play the old music now. Where is it? Here it is. And I will see you next week.
Thank you, everybody.